him on the show here, and he challenged anybody to cite which law gives him
This
power
arena,
to the
this
president.
arena, what this arena supposed to say?
He also talked about it being illegal.
Illegal. So I wish you I read another two seditions who disagree with their lawmaker. So,
Yeah,
we,
so
I'm joining the two seditions who disagree with
no,
their
but
lawmaker.
the CFO says he's not a sedition.
It doesn't matter what he says. I know he then said he relinquishes membership, which is his constitutional right.
Has he been a card-carrying member of the CDC?
Sifos have been a member of the CDC, though he resigned from the CDC before in 2016 to be with the ALP and came back to the CDC. But Sifos was at the National Executive Committee member of the CDC when I served as National Secretary General. In fact, he was chairman for legal affairs of the CDC at a point in time.
Okay.
Yeah. But three persons disagree. It's the right honest edition to agree or disagree with issues. But we disagree with our lawmaker on that. I disagree with him on that.
You think there is not a clear law that says
it is not clear.
The president can declare a public
national holiday. They don't say national holiday. They categorize it because the president said national holiday. I disagree with the president on that. Even had the president had that authority to declare a national holiday, I would not have gone to the church or the box to pray on that day because the president is insincere. Okay, who declaring a holiday? What is sincerity to national reconciliation? What is sincerity to interaction with other people who don't agree or people who disagree with him? How does he treat them? What is his behavior to the state? The level of hardship, defaults on commitments by the government. Why should I celebrate somebody who want to chill and do business with the devil to become president of the Republic of Liberia? I smell the scent of the devil on the presidency. Because a president will say I will even dance, the president will say I will even do business with the devil or dance with the business.
There is not there is not a publicly available evidence that corroborates the claims that then political leader Wakai has said he will even dance with the devil. It is something that someone said. It doesn't necessarily mean he said.
Let me repeat. A man who dances with the devil, the President Wakai, and the scent of the devil smells on him, cannot declare a day to serve my God, my Yahweh. That I will go and serve.
Even the devil himself converses with God. Even the devil and Jesus had interactions.
But you know the history of the devil was sent down. Okay, you know the history of that. So why would you want the devil to mingle with you? Even God refused the devil mingling with him. What's about Acarous grass or human being? I must reject the devil believing as a Christian. So that has been my consistent rejection. So I cannot dance with the devil. I cannot interact with someone that smells like the devil.
Now, coming to CFOS's claims, if we come back to national.
We got different claims. Unless CFOS business for country scores here.
No, there are a whole lot of claims that he made, and you said, okay, it is his right to express his opinion, and people from your party should not go after him and all of that. But these are very major, serious claims he's making about the government he served in, your government, and which was short-lived in terms of a 6-year government when you thought you could have got a second term. And he was trying to outline some of those reasons that led to your defeat. Some of the points he made jive with things that you said before as well when your government was in power, when you had issues with some of the things happening within the very government. So can you now say that he's somewhat right?
Can you be specific what I said? Let me tell you what I said.
But in terms of, hold on, sir. You were on the back of the government in terms of information dissemination, how to manage that, to have a proper defense and offense in terms of public relations. And he also mentioned that in his piece.
Let me tell you what he said, and I agree with him on the point he said. He said we understood took a lot of good projects. Okay? Let me see what I get first. Okay. He said we undertook a lot of good projects, but little results, right? And he said, take example the population census. I do concur that the CDC undertook a lot of projects. So many projects. I came in this public space and said, we didn't do well with the PR, the way we sold the government, we sold our project and all of those things. I concede to that publicly. And I do agree with that 100%. So CFO's argument about the CDC doing a lot of projects defeats the argument of the opposition community. He's trying to tell the opposition you lie. Like you said, CDC did not undertake projects. CDC did not do good. CDC did a lot of projects. What? He agrees with me on that point, and I also agree with him that the CDC, in terms of PR, we have problems in that area in terms of the public relation aspect of selling our government, selling our programs, and selling our projects. And I said that publicly here. So there's no big difference about that. On that point.
But he also went further.
So that's why I said let's go point by point. But I agree with that. I concede to that. I accept that. And I love the fact that the CFOs that the opposition are celebrating, I mean that the ruling establishment is celebrating, the CFOs themselves are condemning that, look, hold on, the CDC did a lot of good things, but probably the CDC did not sell it the way it should have been sold. And I agree with that.
He said, and let me go, because I hosted him on yesterday. He expanded on. He said, you all, the CDC government created a political demagoguery. At the head was a Gopu, George, obviously in reference to George Weah as president, a demagogue. That's what you people made him to be, a demagogue. And you know what demagoguery does. That's not a good trend for the leader of any country.
But you see, I love for people to be very fair, Julius. CFO said 3 different capacities in the CDC administration, appointed positions.
What are they?
He was deputy minister at the Ministry of Agriculture. When he became the head of the Access Recovery Team under the CDC administration, then he became Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia. Then subsequently he got sanctioned and he had to resign his post. He didn't want to stop there. That's why I say I love for people to be real. He didn't want to stop there. CFOS in 2023 was in the public glare campaigning and at the same time voting for the person he called a political demagogue. In my mind, it's a contradiction.
So what do you think has changed?
Now, in my mind, it's a contradiction. Not only is it a contradiction in my mind, but the fact of the matter here is that people should have character. When you know that somebody is not good for the presidency, you resign your position. Not only do you resign your position, you speak up, especially after he had left the government, because he has resigned. You remember he had to resign. He left the government. He left the government, I think, 2 years before the close of the government. If I'm right on the sanction, almost 2 years before the close of the government. So he had ample time, that window period, to stand up and even disagree with the government of the Republic of Liberia by then. He's on no public record that some of us who came to your station, under your studio 1, 2, 3, 4 different times, we stood our grounds. He said nothing. Then he went out campaigning. Do you believe that such a person is being truthful to himself, or is being sincere to himself at this juncture? I think CFOS so all in my mind. I think the council saw all. And
so
I think the
what
council,
does that mean when you say so?
Probably a lot of things happening under this administration. People in the private sector, lawyers. You ask me why? Let me conclude, Julius. Some people in the private sectors who are loyal, feel that they can get contracts from government or pleading cases on behalf of government. You know, that's how they survive. The issue of the access recovery teams running behind people. I'm hearing that some people who were sanctioned, Whitehouse wants to go after them. So probably these are some of the factors that will have prompted his statement of contradictions, inherent contradictions as we go through, because I cataloged them into 4 separate different contradictions. So every castigation against the presidency, he saw it, he lived with it, yet he still chose to give the presidency back to the CDC.
Talking about defeating, he said we were defeated because we were morally myopic and intellectually short-sighted. That is in the interview with me. I don't know if he has it in that piece. And we had no exit or defensive strategy. were you all morally myopic and intellectually short-sighted?
No, but when you talk about exit strategy, then it means that he predicted the government will have been defeated no matter what the case is. Because when you design an exit strategy, that means you are preparing for defeat. So it defeats the purpose of his argument. Why will a government be preparing an exit strategy when the government is seeking its second term? That means the government was not myopic because the government was convinced, and we were convinced that we were going to win elections. So for you to mess up being myopic and at the same time thinking about an exit strategy, you know, only defeaters. And people who are sure that they're going to get defeated, they will have exit strategy. So it's another contradiction. I think he just abused words or missed words out, in my opinion.
Let me bundle these two.
Yeah.
Together. Our government, and this is from the write-up, our government didn't promote and protect those who stood in the vanguard of the struggle during the party's days in opposition. Our government placed itself under the illusion of looking for experts and was comfortable with giving contrast, placing the lives of the current Minister of Justice and committees and boards at the expense of its own partisans.
Jesus, the first one you read about what government didn't promote and protect those who stood in the vanguard of the struggle during the party's days in opposition. And there's a second point he comes to contradict himself. Listen, he said the government was reactionized, a sort of old reasoning that is reminiscent of George Orwell Animal Farm, so much that kids that were born into poverty were living like kings and queens. He says the government didn't support, the government didn't prioritize the partisans. He comes back now to say that there were partisans of the CDC who were living, young people who were living the kings and queens who government gave job to. So if the government did not prioritize its partisans, how come you are castigating the same partisans that the government incorporated into the system? How come? And in the interpretation, when we begin to call ourselves reactions, all of people call themselves reactions, Judas, is that a strange political jargon in the history of the country? There are people who call themselves alienists. There are people who have been balkanized. I want to borrow that. In America, the Clintons, okay, just research now. They get the Clintonists in the Democratic Party. They get the Obama Democrats. They even get the Democrats who supported Ronald Reagan. Okay, George Bush. I think Ronald Reagan or Bush, one of them. Okay, they are categorized after the name of the president or the leader. The Mandela fighter will live in the ANC consistently. Even Malema, who broke away from the ANC and established his own institution, will still salute Winnie Mandela, call her Mama. Will still salute Nelson Mandela from the ANC. Okay, so for somebody to say people who struggled, they didn't get job according to his argument, but he comes back to say that they were giving job at a point in time again.
It's not true that a whole lot of them cried on the government and certain posts, certain key positions. Like yesterday in the interview, he said, could you have had a person of the stature of Amos Stowe in the CDC heading LPRC, or Mo Ali heading Water and Sewer, and some other key places? Isn't that a plausible argument to make? That some of those who were in those posts were far removed from the struggle?
When you say that, then Sivos is myopic to the struggle of the CDC, or he acting myopic to the struggle of the CDC, and it being baseless, unfunded. Didn't Amos Stowe struggle with the CDC to become finance minister? Didn't McGill, did you expect McGill to become a minister of state at his youthful age? I think he's a younger minister of state, I think. With all that authority and power given to him by the president of the Republic of Liberia. Oh yes, Bill Twile was at the port, Nimale Pearson was at LPRC. What's the argument? What argument is he propounding? The Commerce Minister Mwani Diggs, she was in the vanguard of the struggle of the CDC between 2004 to 2005. The Minister of General Piso was in the struggle, the foundational struggle of the CDC between 2004 to 2005. What is his argument? Even Delon, I don't know whether like in your station, if I would Tim Adrate, he admitted that President William made a lot of people. Unlike them, people want you to be holding back, like running behind Tipota, and other people are calling to him. But look at Acarous coming from Rock Spring Valley, becoming a lawmaker when the CDC was not in authority. They didn't want to pay on young blood. That people say, oh, she came from the pageant school of thought. Thomas Pala, who was on the plant farm, and today Deputy Speaker of the Republic of Liberia. Sir Joseph was running around in Barnesville and New Georgia area. Senator of the Republic of Liberia, 18 years to his belt. They let Judas Barron go on and name them. Eloisa Enos from West Point, Solomon George. Just go on and just name people. Okay? In fact, people believe it's the CDC that made us. We didn't make the CDC. So it's a contradiction of the argument. The foundation of his argument is flawed. It's not only faulty, it's illogical. And if the councilor was under Mangabo at the legislature, we would join him and running and probably arresting and putting him behind bar for contempt for obstructing our function. Because he attempted to obstruct the functions of the CDC, unfortunately. It fell on deaf ears.
Count 3.
Okay.
Our leaders spend more time gossiping, fearing lies, and undermining those who did not share their solid views. 4. The president was like a Christmas lights, only seen at official ceremonies, and was only accessible to only a few officials. Cabinet retreats were set aside for great fun rather than any meaningful exercise to discuss critical issues. The president was by and large the go-to of the cabinet retreat. The president valued recycled politicians in the government more than those he called friends who were determined to serve his government. Liberia foreign policy was on sale and could only go to the house. So all of these claims, I generally ponder that we have other things to go to.
Yeah. One of the things he said that the government put itself under the illusion of looking for experts and then brought in the current justice minister for contracts and other things. Doesn't it defeat the argument that the CDC did not incorporate people from other political institutions who did not support the CDC? I think that argument, probably he just wanted to make that argument, but the argument itself is speaking against the opposition to say, look, hold on. President, we are people outside of the CDC, because people are saying, oh, on the CDC, when he said the CDC was under the illusion of looking for experts. And they brought in the current justice minister. For me, it's good. It may appear negative, but the fact of the matter here is good and establish the fact that the CDC was doing better in terms of incorporating the opposition. Another thing you read here, you talk about foreign policy. I want to go to that foreign policy issue. He said we voted against China. He was specific, if you read it. Look, he's trying to chop a jab at the United States government for censoring the sanctions that they have on him. That's all. And I told Sereno before, I said, Sereno, you can't fight USA. They sanction you, maybe they have their own funds. You got to fight to exonerate yourself. You are a good guy. I know you, I respect you a lot. You even served as lawyer for me before. But Sereno, to always antagonize the United States of America is a dangerous thing. You ain't talking about 2 votes. One, I think, was Louis Brown when you were there, because we met Louis Brown there. And another one on our administration, who had our own foreign minister or someone inside the United States. But at the UN, I mean, unfortunately, we not sit and be used to throw jabs at the United States government. The United States government is a traditional friend of the Republic of Liberia. You go here when you come down, what you say, and the government that comes to power has to do business with the United States of America. They are very good friends of ours. So, an action taken by the United States government against a single individual that's a renal civil, let me be specific, to think that you will use our institution to fight back and throw jabs at the United States government. We're not ready for that battle. You can fight your own battle.
You seem scared. Your government adopted all this fear tactic with the U.S., everything the U.S. wanted you give, yet they still sanctioned some of your officials. This whole friendship seems to have been one-sided.
I will say this to you. On record, in your studio and all of your studios, their research, I disagree with the sanctions on officials of CDC. I've said that publicly. Let me reiterate that. I publicly disagree with that. I think some of the allegations against some of the people like Jefferson Koji, for example, human rights abuses, is not truthful. They should do more research on that. I've been public about that. I disagree with Lina Thomas Greenfield when she placed her conversation into the issue of the city parking when they were charging Liberians all over the place when Mary Brown was city mayor. I publicly disagree with you. Can research that. I disagree with the United States, even when the other guy called our government, what he used, the American Christmas. I went publicly condemning him. Okay, I know my responsibility when I was sitting lawmaker. So it's not about fear. Okay, I'm saying the truth. I'm not saying that the sanctions against them are right. I would never say that. But I am saying to you is that you will not use her to fight your personal battle or trying to throw jabs at the United States government. Okay, one point in time he says that the president, people who stood for him, friends who fought for him, read the conversation. He said friends who fought for him, the president isolated them, then he comes back to say that the president only appointed friends to lucrative position. There are two contradictions. I collected that in your statement. He said somewhere two errors he made that statement about. He said the president value he said the president value recycle politicians in the government more than those he called friends who were determined to serve his government. He said that. Then he comes back to say, at Canteno, that was Cancel when I read Canteno. He said, only personal friends of the president were favored for lucrative jobs. What, Julius, you understand pointing? If the president will do away with his friends, he cannot give them job. Those who fought for him, those who stood with him in the vanguard. But you come back again, you're seeing right up. Probably those people were intoxicated. Maybe he was legally intoxicated. Yeah. Maybe he was legally intoxicated or politically intoxicated. I think he just wanted to prove a point on a particular day in my mind. But that intoxication was not good for him. He's my big brother, he's my friend, I love him. And I don't think this is why he's going to leave the CDC. And I don't wish for him to leave the CDC. Yes, I don't think he's going to leave, and I don't wish for him to leave the CDC.
Now, he also talked about the predispositions of the president, his hobbies and all of that, singing, dancing, how it was embarrassing, it was disgraceful, and in fact he was even considering changing his nationality because it is something internationally he just couldn't deal with.
Julius, then I come back again. Before President William became President of the Republic of Liberia, he sang, he danced, he played soccer. It's part of his habit. You saw that, you supported him to be president, you voted for him. He came to the presidency and gave you 3 different positions. He was still singing. He was still playing football. He didn't forget about his root. Oh yes, music. It helps to de-stress some people. Jesus, I see you sometimes. I see you sometimes. You take your road trip. Sometimes you play your music. People get different way of de-stressing themselves. Different way. It didn't stop.
But you cannot perpetually do it. Like seeing the president in Ghana playing street football and all that kind of stuff, not even in his own country.
No.
The former president, right?
The former president. That is good. It's good. I encourage it. In fact, I was in Ghana. I left from Ghana, I think, a week or 2 ago. Yeah, I was in Ghana.
Yeah, okay, yeah, when you went for your website.
Yeah, but listen, you know what? Those are all professional players of Ghana. And 1 or 2 countries, some of them come from Togo, even Adebayo, and all the guys. That's their root. That's where they play. That's where they grew up. So they feel excited, especially one of them have become president, to be among them. And President Weah is giving a statement inspiring young Africans, not just Ghanaians. This is where we play. In this month we play. This is where we grow. This is where I've come back to my root after the presidency. There are presidents, people are president in the United States of America, they couldn't drive their own car. They couldn't go play basketball, for example. They couldn't sing, for example. After the presidency, they go back for these recreations. So, but what is of interest is that how would Sereno be ashamed to change his nationality when in fact he saw all of that while the man was president? You still voted for him in 2023. You didn't castigate him. You still defended him in the public glare. You campaign for him. I got to get some of the campaign pages to show them to you. Okay, but at the end of the day, for you to come out, though, these are inherent contradictions. I want to say probably the councillor was politically or legally intoxicated.
Talking about the whole issue of the playing of football. This is what the information minister said the other day about former President Weah. He said, let me bring it quickly. I want to quote verbatim. I will call you back, Council. I will call you back, Councillor Sarenia Sifas. Let me get through with him. I will call you back. I just want to bring something out. Okay, he said, people say George Weah as Samuel Doe's son. But the day the government was reburying Doe, Weah wasn't Ghana playing street football.
You know what?
How could Weah allegedly do that? How will he be playing allegedly?
You are a journalist, so you could do your work better. But let me say this to you. You know, the Ministry of Information have been insulting the former president a lot. In fact, sometimes you try to correct them. Joseph Boyka want us to be insulting him? Is that what you want? Because when Boyka went Grand G that you didn't see what happened with him. He couldn't even wake up from his own chair, he was sleeping. Intoxicated with power.
No, sir. We don't.
No. He was drinking power that day.
No, we don't.
No, the day of Samuel Doe burying, he was drinking power.
How you know?
How I know?
Yeah.
What are you telling me? We got security who left us and around the president was drinking power.
Also,
you believe that we are? So you believe what he said we are?
That was publicly.
No. I'm just saying to you. I'm just saying.
First of all, let's establish. Was the former president in the country at the time? Or
he wasn't in the country. But was Joseph Boyka drinking power and going to the program? Yes.
Let us deal with one issue.
Weah was in Ghana. It's a public record. Okay. For him to say the day that they had a program or whatsoever with this contradiction. But I know the day Joseph Boyka was going, Joseph Boyka was intoxicated with power. I know about that. We don't have that on this microphone because one, you don't have the evidence. If you had the evidence, we'll say yeah. Two, do you have evidence that on the day they were burying, they were doing the reburial
and so this is what I am asking you.
No, I know you needed to ask the information minister. When you finish asking, you can't ask me.
No, I'm having you.
No, Jesus. I saw on your page, but guess what? I was taking a bag. You know why I was taking a bag?
Why?
Because naturally, when these things come from the CDC, you will not put it on your page.
Jesus,
let me repeat with all due respect to you. When these things come from the CDC, you will not put it on your page. But can you put it on your page now that President Boyka was in his lethargy drinking power and going to Grand Julia County for the information minister to make the clarity?
That is the issue because you don't have the evidence.
He doesn't. They bring the evidence for you. They give you evidence.
And so it is your response now.
My response is clear. That President Boyka was in his lesser car drinking power going and he couldn't even wake up on the place. He couldn't conclude the program.
Let's move.
Yeah, that's my response.
Let's.
I hope you put it on your page so the information ministry.
No, I don't think.
Do you think that the information minister gave you evidence?
No, I don't think I want.
No, Judah, did he give you evidence? For me, I disagree with you on that point.
No, but that's a choice.
No, I disagree with you.
Yeah,
so while Boyka was in your lesser drinking power and sleeping at the program,
let us leave the drinking power business.
But that power, Judah,
there is no.
I'm not the first person.
No, there is no evidence to that.
What got evidence? You know what's why drinking power the other day in Lofa?
That's the presidency. I would not want.
But there's the former president who discussing Judah's share. You want to open a Pandora box?
But no, playing football.
He was specific. He was specific. He said, the minimum. No, Judas, you're a student of literature. Stop that. You're one of the smartest junk. I got a lot of respect for you. Let me be frank with you. He spoke. No, excuse me. He spoke sarcastically, which you know.
Also, and so are you? Are you by parity of that reasoning trying to invent something?
No, I'm not inventing. I am telling you, you don't know Boyka. I'm a former top-notch political actor in the legislature. I have friends in the EPS and other people who will tell me that we have to wait President Boyka or while giving power all of the time.
This government on this day in 2019, I have written a piece about the CDC government. On this day as well, which is exactly the same period when you came to power and all of that. In terms of performance, a whole lot of the stores are claiming that they've done by far better than your CDC government did by this time in 2019, whether it is road development, whether it is the issues of governance, whether it's the fight against corruption and all of that. How do you respond to that?
Julius, the records are public. The records are public. The finance minister on 2 separate occasions have admitted, which I respect him for the gains made by the CDC-led administration, and those are the gains they are building on. The Minister of Finance on 2 separate occasions. I'm not talking about the politicians who run it around who are not technocrats. The President of the Republic of Liberia in the State of the Nation address, speaking about his arrest agenda, he said the arrest agenda is built on the foundation of the proper agenda. What contradiction is there? There's no contradiction. But now we have signature projects. What is this government signature project in terms of physical signature projects? The Doe community became a signature project. You all saw what we did in the Doe community era. The 14 military hospital, for example, you saw what we did. We declared free tuition for public schools, universities. We did that. The WAS fees, for example, we didn't wait. Show me the government project beside the police booth that they built all broke down. In fact, the last time you were trying to say something about it. Show me the signature project. All of the things they are doing are something that they made there, which is good because it's government of continuity and must respect. But they don't respect the concept of government of continuity. They are acting as if to say they did the negotiation, they did the ratification, they started the construction, or they took it to 40, 50, 60, 70, or 80, or 90%. Okay? Even the EAWA cycle we have down there, it's not them. Okay? Even the school they want to dedicate in Bonkan, it's not them. The fact check just contradicted them under the administration. So I'm just saying to you, it's not a strong argument by this administration. The greatest sources by this administration, I will tell you, is the source of hardship upon the Liberian people.
Is the sources of hardship upon the Liberian people.
That's the greatest sources.
Let's take few calls time.
Anytime you can wait for 10 minutes.
No, but
the other people have 5 minutes again. No problem, Judah.
Next week we can still bring you to
Judah. The last time when you hosted me, I marked it down. You said next week again.
Yeah, next week.
No, Judah, every day next week.
Yeah, next week, please. Okay. Let's take Councillor Sifas. Councillor, you listen to former Representative Gray. What do you have to say? Were you politically or legally intoxicated to make the claims you made? He's saying that you were paradoxical, you were contradictory, you were quite diametrical in some of the things you said.
Thank you very much. I like him. I like his opinion because Article 15B of the 1986 Constitution gives Liberian citizens the right to hold an opinion separate and distinct from the opinion of others. So, no matter how inflammatory it may seem, I don't have any qualm with that. That's his opinion. But to a large extent, let me see, the 2 votes I was making reference to were votes not against the United States, but against the chairman were taken on behalf of France. Check the record. Twice. And Africa voted against France in that one that had to do with the wheel in China. It was not the United States. So I think my little brother and friend made a mistake. But beyond that, this government, unlike our, had shown demonstrably a sound character in international relation. In our case, no. There are other positive things that we did, but we didn't follow up on that. For example, the RIRO, we has been built for the last 5 years. They are not even going into a 20 kilometer yet. In our case, it started at 5 years on. The referendum made reference to a very good idea. It was not followed through. The PAPD, right? Very good political concept. There was no political office because we didn't have the ingenuity to be able to determine what actually needed to be done. We needed to have a political office. It's the same problem with the unity party government. So, for example, if I say I will not criticize the arrest agenda, even though it remains idealistic, it remains on paper, and I was vociferously, promoted, but you didn't see any tangible result. How am I going to
he has also said, with all these claims you made about the former government and the former president, you still went out campaigning for him in 2023, voted for him in 2023.
No, listen.
So what has changed now?
Okay, listen to this, Julius. The CDC is not a political party. The CDC is not a mass movement. The CDC is a way of life. Liberians live the CDC. So it became a political pedestal for youth empowerment. So that model, that political model was abused. Now, in Joshua Animals Farm.
No, but sir, did you campaign for and vote for WIA in 2023, even after you resigned from government?
I said the CDC is a way of life.
No, sir. I'm not asking about CDC now. I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what has changed now? Because even after you left the government, you realized all of these things. You still went out, voted for him, campaigned for.
After I left the government, these views were quietly expressed. You hope that in subsequent time, when the president take a backseat, for example, after leaving power, will do a sober reflection, will be able to calculate perfectly to come by if he so desire.
Yeah, but then.
You saw the president in the street dancing. I mean, what is that?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But I'm just because he was still dancing up to the campaign time, but you went and still campaigned and voted. Yeah.
Including Julia.
Yeah.
There's a war between determined friends and friends.
Okay.
You see, I said friends who are very determined to serve the government. They are different from friends.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so kindly, sir. Let's take a few others. Time is already out of our hands. Welcome. Let's hear you. Melvin C. first. You are the youth league chair of the Unity Party. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Julius. And let me say good afternoon to your studio guests. And I phone in from the compound of the National Transit Authority. I was just trying to wrap up and listening to the show. You know, I listened to former Representative Gray, listing some of the tangible projects for the CDC town, and I thought that he forgot some of them. Town during the CDC administration, we have broken down his 9th Street residence and were reconstructing it. Town during the CDC administration, we have completed the construction of his. Yes, Chief.
Others have accused. No, Masai, I will ask you a question.
Yeah,
others have accused the current president of also redoing his house. They have refashioned it. The fence has gone up. They have blocked the roads, and all those accusations have come in too. Is it true that they have reconditioned the current president whom since he became president?
Julius, in addition to these two, the 49 units that were built in seminary and the rehab resident that was broken down, the resident of President Weah was reconditioned because of security reasons, and some of these reasons the JNB is president of the Republic of Liberia. So these are tangible things that the CDC did. I just want you to remember that.
Okay, thanks. No, we don't have enough time. I'll take other people now. Thanks so kindly. You've made a point. Let's squeeze in this one as well. You have just under 1 minute. Let's hear you. Benedict Coloba, are you back in the country?
Yes, I'm back in the country. Yeah, Julius, thank you. You know, Gray, I was one of the person who felt we shouldn't respond or dignify Councillor Seaforth. But I think you did well by coming up because he closed his contradiction by saying to you, CDC is a way of life. So it means he cannot do away with CDC. So
yeah, but even if he cannot do away with the CDC, he is making a point like that you all have a whole lot of problems, a whole lot of issues. You need to work on yourselves.
No, if you listen to it, he didn't report anything that the Honorable Grace said. Well, let me just point out something he talked about the PAPD. Here is a man who was on pillar 2 of the PAPD. He was Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Agriculture. What did he do? For PAPD indicators and target there, because he didn't even know he was there fighting a boss. It's right. CIA. The president talking from there and running to justice ministry. He was there fighting against. So how will you understand what the PNP?
Okay, thanks so kindly, been in the call, but let's take a few others from the public. Welcome, let's hear you from this end quickly.
Hello, Trio.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, quickly.
Thank you for this law that will be about. Very important. The second point for the fact you cannot compare the government with the power government. So what the problem is power now. It cannot break nothing. The same way honor. The same way honor. It's two of the party by the go. I know I am going to get them. They work. I don't do the work of the last. You cannot compare the government with the government. You think I don't call them to go consider the council of law. I'm not considering the council of law. And then there is all the council side of Europe.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's go international. Welcome, let's hear you. Go ahead.
I just want to ask you this question. Is it not prudent enough for you guys to look in Georgia's face and tell him, hey, your lifestyle is not a lifestyle of a president. He just stepped away and tried to pass it over to somebody else. Is it very hard? And then to Councilor Stephen, you know Councilor Stephen, when I listen to you, you read what you wrote yesterday, I was like, yeah, this is another answer is great for you. The question change agenda, I think the king doesn't go in that way, but the question change agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We can't take more. Sorry, folks. Next week we will have him here for a part 2. It really deserves it.
Every day saying every day. But let me close.
Yes,
the man who said we should look in the face of President Weah. He should look in the face of President Bwaka and tell him that he lives on left support. Constitutionally, he has issues. Okay, so as a result of that, he shouldn't be president of the Republic of Liberia. People living on left support, tell him you should not even vote for him. The other point here is that, look, I salute Sipo when he says CDC is the way of life. The councillor has nowhere to go. He will be home. He will come home. Okay? Though he still contradicted himself when you ask him, say, oh, I talk about voting against China for France and America. You know America ally is France. So that argument, he doesn't understand the intricacy of diplomacy and foreign policy and relationship.
Thanks so kindly.
Now, but not Judas. Then I wanted to say to the guy who talking about President Weah was building. President Bwaka upgraded a house over $500,000, right? Rehab. By this time.
Who gave you the estimate?
By this time, President Bwaka had bought 2 less of the Eagle for $1.something million United States.
Well,
by this